like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we're talking about practice.
Back row.
Just believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that is not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines, you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'm a go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They ring got the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe. Connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this, nigga, I eat bars and drink flows. Thinking you woke into your third eye, peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game, these niggas lame, they bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, you want the easy pass, tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him runner, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Laugh at these niggas once again and I ain't break a sweat. Number 1 at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, When Westworld. Let's get it. Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make war. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Scammer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the piece loose, what they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage war. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Stood against all enemies. In high school, you was the man that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing, dog, I plan to keep. You lose your mind where I'm from, I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul, losing times, wasting steady pacing. You off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But the power about war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason, got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest, they gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have a deep squad. Been rapping since knee high, now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in they face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we half, but we come from half knots. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug. I ain't give a fuck, burnt out I was, from hitting licks in and out and selling nicks in the drop.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Salakia. Hold on, we're gonna get it in a minute. All right, there we go. Shalom Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakathum to the brothers. Shalom Shamar Atham Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai to the sisters. It is the ISUPK, that's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, out of Harlem, New York, since 1969, under Commander General Yana. And we've been called to teach the so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native Americans that we are the lost sheep of the house of Israel. All right, tonight's class, unfortunately, can't for some reason I can't get on Facebook. So if y'all can, share it to your Facebook page. All right. For some reason I can't get on there. I can't get on Facebook. But anyway, tonight's class is called interesting choice of words, right? What is the difference between a Jews, and Israel? So in other words, it would be, what is the difference between what and Israel? Young man in the front, what do you think? Take a shot. Where am I going with
it? The Jews are from, that's the southern kingdom, and then Israel is the northern kingdom.
Okay.
They split, and Israel was pretty much, say, like banned for worshiping idols, things like that.
Right.
First group of people kind of go off.
They was the first group to go off. All right. You got anything you want to add on it?
So I'm trying to share the video to my Facebook now.
All right. Look, it is a very important piece of understanding the Bible. It is a very important piece. The word I would use, and you know, it ain't no right or wrong answer on what I'm getting ready to say between what we both are saying. I would say I worded it Jews purposely instead of saying Judah, because the word Jew comes, it comes from the word Judah, Judea. That's the word it comes from. And Judea is the Jews. So what it is, hey, it's not charged?
It might be, sir. Let me check it out
now. Judah would be the Jews, Judea, right? Like you saying. But let me ask you this question: where's the invitation to salvation in the New Testament for Israel? What scripture would you give to show? See, this right here is for Israel.
In the New Testament.
In the New Testament.
Romans 9.
Give me one. Go ahead, pull it.
78.
Pull it. Give it to me. Which one?
One of the cameras might need to be reconnected because it's not showing.
All right, that one. What about that one?
That one down there?
Right.
The main one that's by that door is not.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I saw it.
All right, go ahead. Who would that be? Yeah, it's reloading now. It's updating.
Romans chapter 9.
Let's go there. Romans 9.
Just read 1 through 4, or go straight to 4.
You want to read it? Go ahead.
The point, yeah.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
I say the truth in Christ. I lie not. My consciousness also bearing me witness in the Holy Ghost.
In the what?
In the Holy Ghost.
In the Holy Spirit. Now, the reason why we don't use the word ghost is because it's too churchy. I mean, we try to tear down the strongholds of the Christian church, and that's what they use, and they really use it heavily, and they use it out of context. So because they use it like that, that's the reason why we try not to use that terminology. But go ahead.
that I had great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
According to the flesh. So that would, and that's a good precept. Young man in the back, if you want to come right there, or you good? Grab a chair and just, or you twat. All right, go ahead. No. That's a good precept. What about you, young man, Chris in the back? No precept. What about you? He gave a precept to show the Romans 9, 1 through 4. Salakia. Romans 9, 1 through 4. All right. So look, let's get to it. So this is what you need to do, right? Get your precept, get ready, get your pen, your pad, your precepts out, and get ready, because when you come back, we're gonna get into pulling these precepts, and I'm gonna show you exactly the angle on where we coming from and why we're why is it worded the way it's worded. All right. The title of the class is, what is the difference between Jews and Israel? Huh? Give him the mic.
It's dated for Wednesday.
It's dated for Wednesday.
Yeah, it's not live right now.
You're kidding me.
Because I was trying to find it on my drive. It's dated for Wednesday. It's dated for 3/6. I'm on. He's on YouTube now. So now
I'm on YouTube now.
It might have been a different one, possibly.
Yeah, well, because where you was on Facebook.
I was on YouTube. Drive down. Sometimes ago.
Well, before it came on, it probably was dated for Wednesday. But once I went live, boom. All right, so you know the title. You got the mic. Tell me what's going on. What's the title about?
It's the difference between Jews and
Israel
and Gentiles, something like that.
Let me bring it up so you can see it.
The difference between Jews and Israel.
Right. What's the difference between Jews? What's the difference? Anybody else? Yours is sufficient. You want some more? You want to put in some more work? Go ahead.
Well, no. I'm just saying, a Jew. It says that I think it is in Hebrews. Jews are that southern kingdom, or the southern kingdom. Israel is the northern kingdom. So there's two separate. Together they're one.
Right.
But they got split because of Israel going off into idolatry. and doing things that they were supposed to do for the Most High.
Can
Jews kept.
Can some from the northern kingdom? So you're saying that can anybody from like the 10 tribes be a part of the Jews?
Wow.
You sure?
Come.
All right. No sweat. All right. Go ahead.
Salaki, can you say the question one more time?
The question was, could any of the 10 tribes be from the southern kingdom, be Judah?
Oh, okay. Any of the 10 tribes.
Right. I'm gonna rephrase the question.
Okay.
Was any of the 10 tribes living among the southern kingdom?
No.
So would they be considered Jews?
Wow.
All right. What you got on it? Anything you want to add on it?
Salagi, so you're saying Israel, the Israelites, descendants of Jacob, and Jews is Judah?
You said it again? Hold on. Wait.
You're saying Jews is Judah?
Make sure can you hear more loud?
I'm going to it right now.
All right, yeah, I can hear you online. Go ahead.
You're saying Jews is Judah and Israel, the Israelites, but
they are Israelites.
yeah.
And this is what's showing up on the
Right.
screen.
They're all Israelites.
But so is it just like a name thing from the different time periods then? So like, because Abraham was like, he's called a Hebrew. So we was Hebrews then, and we called Israelites after Jacob. And then you're saying after the split, then we had Jews.
Right. Who was the okay, say that again.
So is it just like a name thing based on like the time period? Because I know like when we was Abraham, he was Hebrew. And so then it's Israel after Jacob, and then you're saying Jews after Judah.
That's not wrong what you're saying. And if that's how you want to apply it, you can apply it that way. Anything you want to add? All right, well, let's get right into it. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the slide. Okay, what it is both of you guys are right. Both of you young men are right. But what is a very vital and is a very important piece of understanding the Bible. It's like understanding this is like you understanding. It's like you having an IV of the scriptures connected to you. And that IV, it's going to give you this right here. And this that it's giving you is vital to understand the whole Bible from cover to cover. It really is. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the journey on, like you said, time periods. It was a split. It was a lot of factors that was important right here. But this is what I'm going to ask. Can you go to the book of John, chapter 6:10 and verse 16? The good thing is in these classes, you'll get precepts and you'll get things that you can have discussion with different Christians that see the scriptures differently from you, right? And this is a way in these classes that you can pick up these precepts, all right? So who got it? Read it. Get the
This is John chapter 10, verse 16. And other sheep I have.
And what?
And other sheep I have.
So this is Christ, and he's saying, other sheep I have. Now remember, who is he talking to? Who is he talking to?
Israel.
Who is he talking to, young man? Aparian. Who is he talking to?
Israel.
Young man in the back. What is he talking to?
I agree with my brothers. Israel.
Okay. In this lesson, who is he talking to?
Israel.
Jews.
What?
Jews.
It's important in this lesson, and that's why I brought it, because I want you to navigate your understanding along with us. That's why I said both of y'all, what y'all was saying was right, right? It's how you perceived it, how you received it, and how you say, you know what? I can understand it better from this angle. You know what I'm saying? People learn differently. Some people learn more visual. Some people learn differently. So the thing is, y'all both saw it the same way. But when Christ said, and other sheep I have, who is he talking about? Because when a Christian read that, they'll say, see, Gentiles. Look at that. Gentile. Anybody, and they'll say anybody can pick up the Bible and read it. And it says, and other sheep I have. In this lesson, this would be who?
Jews.
Why? Which are not of this fold.
Because of the separation.
That's vital. They're not of this fold. You know why? Because they're not Jews. They're not Judah. They're not Judah. They have become Hellenists. They have become barbarians. They have become wise. They have become unwise. It's the same thing that we deal with today, especially in your case, because you see all that, what I just said. You see all of that. And that's what we deal with today. And guess what? I got you. Give him the mic.
No, I just wanted to let you know that the only thing that's showing up on the screen.
I know.
Okay.
I know. It's very important that we understand that when he says, and other sheep I have, this was talking about that other nation. Watch, read it. Go ahead, read it. I'm going to show y'all.
Verse 16, and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and they shall be one fold and one shepherd. He said one fold and one shepherd. Now look, hold on. I'm gonna back out of this for 1 second. Salakia. I'm gonna back out of this for 1 second here, right? He said, not of this fold, right? That's what he said. So our position here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana, that's exactly what it's talking about. Exactly what these young men just said in this class. And we're going to take the journey through the scriptures. We're going to try to move pretty quickly. And we're going to pull the precepts to get us to understand that. But when he said, read that again. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them I must bring. Hold up, stop right there. When he says must, see what he said? He says must. To me, where's it at? Did he say, oh, Salakia. I'm up one. That's the most important word. He said must. That word is so important is because of this. Go to Hebrews 8:8. Hip shot. Remember, my whole thing is he's saying must for a reason. He's saying must. Like that means absolute. That means it gotta happen, right? It's a must. This is the reason why must. Hebrews 8:8. Who got it? Go ahead, read it. Young man in the back. Go ahead. Young Levi.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 8.
Come on.
For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days doth come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel. With the house of who? With the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
So this is now that's when Yahushua came, that was that time. So, and that comes from the book of Jeremiah. So it's a must. That's why he says in John chapter 10, he says, and other sheep I have, which is those lost sheep, which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring. He must bring them. And they shall hear my voice,
and they shall be one fold and one shepherd, under one shepherd. So look, that's what they got to do. So this is where it's coming from. All right, so let's rock. All right, so what we're going to start at is Genesis chapter 35 and verse 11. The reason why I'm going to start here is because this is where the name Israel comes from. Anybody know where the name Israel come from? Jacob. And where do the name Israelites come from?
Jacob's children.
Because they are his children. So they are Israelites. Just like you got Ishmaelites. All right. Who got it? Genesis 35 and 11.
So I can read it.
Go ahead.
Khan. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 35, verse 11. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins.
All right, so listen to what he says. First of all, this is a scripture that had killed that debate last night that Captain Tazariak was talking about, because he was trying to say that the seed is the woman's seed. Right here, he's letting Jacob know. He's saying a nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. That crushes everything right there. Comes out of his loins. Why? Because it's in him already. But the point is he said, how many nations came out of Israel?
12.
How many nations came out of Israel?
One nation.
One nation came out of Israel. But this say a nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, Isaac. You got Abraham, you got Isaac, and you got Jacob. And then he says in verse 12, he says, and the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. Right? Now notice what he said. Go to Genesis chapter 17 and verse 16. So notice it said nations. It says a nation and a company of nations. That's very important in understanding the Bible. It's very important in understanding everything that you read throughout every book. I'm going to show you. Who got it? Genesis 17 and 16.
Khan. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her.
Right. This is talking about Sarah. Go ahead.
I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations.
A mother of who?
A mother of nations.
Uh-huh.
Kings of people shall be of her.
See, this is one of the reasons why I never say I call my sisters in the Isupk. I don't call them queen, because the sisters in the Isupk are not queens. They are mothers of nations. You understand? They mothers of kings. You understand? They are the mother of these people. But how many children did Sarah have?
One.
Why does it say nations? But it does say nations. Y'all see it, right? All right. So how many nations came out of Israel? One. All right. Let's go to Genesis chapter 48 and verse 19. Now, a lot of these precepts I'm going to pull. You can go back and you can read them, but I'm going to actually tell you about them so that we can move and flow through them. All right. I need Genesis 48 and 19. What's going on right here is this is the time when Joseph was in Egypt, and Joseph had two sons. Who familiar with this? You familiar with it? Joseph had two sons, and when out of those two sons, Jacob
which is Israel, was going to bless them. Which one is the oldest? By raise a hand. Which one is the oldest?
Barbara.
Huh? Nope. Who's the oldest? God can't be nobody else but Manasseh, right? Remember, he was trying to bless Manasseh because he was the oldest, right? So he took his right hand and he put it on Manasseh, and he took his left hand and he put it on Ephraim. And then Jacob, which is Israel, switched it. And this is the reason why he switched it. Verse 49. 19, Salakia. Chapter 48, verse 19.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 48, verse 19. And his father refused and said, I know it. My son, I know it.
The reason why he said, I know it, because he was letting them know, I know who's the oldest and I know who's the youngest. And his father, Jacob, was moving his hand back. Every time he put his right hand on Ephraim, he would move it back to Manasseh. So this is why he says, and his father refused. And then his father said, I know it, my son, I know it. Go ahead.
He also shall become a people.
Talking about Manasseh. He's going to become a people. Go ahead.
And he also shall be great.
And he's definitely going to be great. Y'all see that map next to it, right? That map is very important on what we're going to be talking about. Go ahead.
But truly, his younger brother shall be greater than he.
Who's his younger brother? Ephraim. Ephraim. That's his younger brother. But he shall be greater than he. Go ahead.
And his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
So now he's saying his seed must become a multitude of nations. A multitude of nations. So here we have Jacob being told that a nation would come out of him, but nations would come out of him. Sarah was told the same thing, that nations would come out of her. And then you got Ephraim. Now, listen, they ain't even going to land yet. I just got this map up there. They ain't even in the land yet. They still on the other side of the journey into Egypt. You understand? So they're not even there yet, but all of these things is being told to them before they go into Egypt. All right? Before they go into Egypt. All right? So now we're going to shoot up. We're going into the promised land. Now, just to let y'all know real quick, Moses, I want y'all to go to Salakia, Numbers 32 and 6. All right? Now, I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about this. Now, Moses, they were on their way to the promised land, right? Did all 12 tribes go over and cross the Jordan into the promised land? No. That's important. I'm going to tell you why that's important. That's important in understanding who Ruth is. If you put that into play and understanding who Ruth is, then you'll understand where the plains of Moab is. The country of Moab, you'll begin to understand that. But that's vital. That's important. But if you look at that map that I just had up, this is the Jordan right here. Can y'all see that? Can they see that? The Jordan is right there. You got Israelites on both sides. On the one side, you got 3 tribes. Those 3 tribes was on their way traveling. And when they were traveling into the land, they had got into it with the people of the land. And they killed the people of the land, which is the plains of Moab. And then they asked Moses this. Go to, who got that Genesis, Numbers 32 and 6. They asked Moses, could they have that land? And this is what Moses said. And if you look at the image, you can see it says Numbers chapter 32 and verse 6. And Moses said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brothers go to war, and shall ye sit here? The here that they was talking about was on this side of the Jordan.
When you're looking at this image talking about on the right hand of Jordan, where it says the plains of Moab, that's what they were looking at. They asked, could they have that land? That's what they asked. And Moses said, yes. If you go down to verse 19, Numbers 32 and 19. This is important. And I'm going to show you why. Go ahead. Who got it?
No.
Give him the mic.
We will not
give him the mic, Salaki. Give him the mic.
For we will not inherit with them on yonder side of Jordan.
So it's talking about Manasseh, Reuben, Gad, not all of Manasseh, but Reuben, Gad, and some of Manasseh. This is who he's talking about. So when he says, for we will not inherit with them on yonder side of the Jordan, it's talking about on the other side of the Jordan. Go ahead.
Or forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on the side Jordan eastward.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses said unto them, if ye will do this thing, if ye will go on before the Lord to war.
So the reason why he was saying it is because they had to go to war to get the land of Canaan. They had to war with those people in that land. All right. And they were saying they wanted to stay on that side. And Moses like, what? So y'all ain't gonna go? So they made a deal that they would go. And this is the deal. Go ahead.
And will go, all of you, on over the Jordan, then before the Lord, until the hath driven out his enemies from before him.
Uh-huh.
And the land be subdued before the Lord. Then afterward.
Then what?
Afterward.
After what? After they subdue the people, after they subdue the land, after they get that land, he says, then afterwards ye shall return. Go ahead.
And be gutless before the Lord and before Israel. And this land shall be your possession.
This land shall be your possession before the Lord. So they, Reuben, any questions so far? So were they together? Were they all together as one nation? No, they wasn't. I'll show you. Go to Joshua chapter 24 and verse 1. During the time of the 12 tribes was in their land, when Ruth said, go unto, what did she say? My God and your God, but I will follow. How did she say that? Look at my God and your God. Yeah. I mean, I want y'all to go to Joshua 24 and 1. Because pull that for me on the side. I'm going to tell y'all. Now, when you look at this chart right here, you'll see 12 different areas with 12 different judges. Why is it like that?
It's like this, or you said Joshua 24 and 1.
Come on.
You want me to read that?
No, one of them can read it. But can anybody tell me before we get to that?
Read the question.
Why was it 12 tribes? I mean, why was it 12 judges?
One for each tribe.
One for each tribe. So they wasn't together, right? So they had different judges, right? Y'all do understand. That's important. That's even important when you understanding about Ruth, because when it says, did you get that?
Salaki, can I get the word one more time?
My God and your God. She said, are y'all familiar with that precept in Ruth when Ruth said to Naomi, she will not, something like, see now, I gotta pull it.
Sluggy. Does that mean they weren't together or they just were governing themselves?
They was,
because they look to be together.
Why do you say they together? They got different judges.
Because they all in the same line.
No, they where?
In the map that you're showing, they all in the same area.
Go to it.
The area look to be separated, but
okay.
Like, so for example, like Delaware have 3 counties, right? So they'll have 3 counties. They have 3 different sets of officers for each county, but it's one state.
That's true. But what if we had three what if we had 3 different presidents?
That was all in the same line?
Right. They all right out here in Delaware. All 3 of those counties, they got 3 different presidents.
That's kind of like how that's like Africa.
Right. But my point is, because they really not together. They there together, but they really not together.
Okay.
You understand? And you're going to see this. Go ahead. Who got that? Joshua 24:1.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 24 and verse 1. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to
Shittim.
and called for the elders.
So when he called for the elders, right? He had to call for the elders from all 12 tribes. He didn't say he called the elder. He called the elders because you had elders from different tribes. Go ahead.
And for their heads.
And from their heads. So their heads is 12 different heads. Go ahead.
And for their judges.
Uh-huh.
And for their officers.
Uh-huh.
And they presented themselves before God.
All right. So that's just to show you that there was. But go to Judges 20:1. Now I'm going to show y'all that they wasn't together. All right. They had different judges. The judges they were not all judging over all 12. They was judging over their tribe. All right. So remember, let's keep in mind, it was prophesied and told to Israel, told to Sarah, told to Jacob, told Joseph that nations is going to come out of us. But remember what he said to what the Most High said to Jacob. He said, a nation and a company of nations. So what we got to see first is we got to see that nation. Then we're going to see that company of nations. Judges 20:1.
This is the book of Judges, chapter 20, verse 1. Then all the children of Israel went out.
Now, when it says, then all the children went out, without reading nothing else, is this talking about all 12 tribes? What you got on it? By raise a hand. Who like all 12? All right. Who don't like all 12? Read it again.
Then all the children of Israel went out.
Now, by raise a hand. Is this all 12? This is all 12? Huh? Oh, no? Okay, so now you're saying no. Okay, so we got three, 4. Young man Chris in the back, he like halfway in the middle. All right. Look, this is one of the reasons why it's important to read these scriptures. All right. Go ahead. Read it from the top again.
Then all the children of Israel went out, and the congregation was gathered together as one, one man, from Dan even to Beersheba, with the land of Gilead, unto the Lord and Mazpeth.
Where you at? Where you at? Verse what?
Verse 2.
Verse 2.
And the chief of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of God. That
sound about right? Can I get a raise of hand? That's all 12 tribes again? There we go. Chris, okay. All right. Oh, can we give him a hand? Hey, we got to give young man Chris a hand. All right, go ahead, my man. All right, go ahead, keep going. So that's everybody except one. I just want to make sure that's everybody except you and you.
I wasn't.
All right, go ahead, keep going. Verse 3.
Now the children of Benjamin.
Who is that? Who is the children of Benjamin?
That's another tribe.
That's another tribe. All right, go ahead.
Heard that the children of Israel.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Now we got a discrepancy here. Because we just read up top where it says, then all the children of Israel went out.
So I'm starting to see something.
Huh?
I said I'm starting to see something.
What you saying?
So if it's mentioned, I don't want to jump ahead, but if it's mentioning Benjamin, then that makes me think of Benjamin, Judah, and Levi.
It should. It should. And that right there is good because that's getting you understand the scriptures. You've been reading the scriptures. You understand what side is on what. But you're right. So now we know that in verse 1 where it says, then all the children of Israel went out, it wasn't talking about all 12 tribes. It was not talking about all 12 tribes. It's very important to understand that because when they got into the land, they were not all together. They was like what you said in Africa, how it is. We was in the land, but we spread it out. We wasn't the same. But we could have been the same people, but just governed differently. Oh, sidebar, hold on up. Wait a minute. I'm coming. There's a hip shot right here. Coming to you. Hold on.
Still want that roof verse,
Yeah, but hold on. First, I want you. Before that, I want to pull this. I want somebody to pull this for me. Go to Joshua. Was it Judges? Hold on. Hold up. Let's see. Go to Judges chapter 21 and verse 25. I'll show y'all what I mean. Now, remember, during that time, they were not together. That was during the time of the judges. So we're going to go to Judges 21 and 25. And this goes to all of the tribes. Who got that for me?
Con.
Let's get it.
It's the book of Judges, chapter 21 and verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
In those days, there was no king in Israel.
Uh-huh.
Every man did which was right in his own eyes.
So that's how they was living among all the tribes. Because we know that they don't supposed to be fighting each other. We know that. We got that lesson that came down from Adam about Cain and Abel. Then it came down from about who's that? Jacob and Esau. It came through Ishmael. I mean, it's always some beef. It's always some beef. But the point is, when you read, and I'm going back up. When we read these precepts right here, let's start reading the whole thing, right? So we'll know. I just want to get back on target because we got a lot to cover. So the children of Israel was not all together, right?
No, they weren't.
I want to hear young man Levi because he could get stubborn. Where they are? You still ain't with me yet?
I don't know if I would say they wasn't all together.
How would you say it?
Maybe they wasn't all on the same page.
Okay, so they wasn't together. See, okay, look, let me just say this to you. In understanding the scriptures, right? You gotta approach the scriptures from the culture from where it was written from. Mm-hmm. That's just like anything. If you want to study any culture, you would have to go and you have to learn how they said different things and how they believe different things. All right. We were told that if a brother do something and you feel some kind of way about it, then you approach that brother. Right. Yeah. And then if that brother don't hear you, then you take that brother before the congregation. Right. And if that brother still don't listen, how do we supposed to treat him? Like a heathen. That's what Christ said. We treat him like the other nation. You know why? Because he on some other type time. He don't know how to forgive his brother. He don't know how to get past a problem. So even though he's an Israelite, we treat him just like another nation. You understand? So why did I bring that up? It's because we were tripping. We was doing what we wanted to do in our own eyes. So we wasn't together. We are the same people. But remember, we just read. That's the reason why I read about a nation and a company of nations. That's why I read
all of those scriptures that lead to this about nations and not just a nation. What you got? You want to pull something?
No, yeah, so just keeping it in the same context, right? So it said the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel were going up to Mitzvah. Obviously, they don't got no cell phone, they don't got no internet, nothing like that. So if they heard it, they had to be in close. Like they can't hear it.
That's good. That's good.
In the same vicinity, something.
Look.
See it with their own eyes.
Well, we gonna hear about it because, like you said, they all on that same area. But look. When you look at the map, right? Mm-hmm. I want you to notice next time we get to a map, I want you to look at where Benjamin is, which is Judah, and then I want you to look at where Israel is, and then you'll begin to see how they heard about it. Because Benjamin was right by Israel. Like on the map, you got Judah is south, right? And Israel is north. Yeah. Right? Between those two is Benjamin.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is they ego tripping.
Oh, absolutely.
They all the same. That's like
right.
I read that kind of like and it's lucky to give maybe a bad example, but like like how like LeBron when he was on the Cavs and he'd be like, oh, the Cavs going to do something, but then he wouldn't include Kevin Love. Kevin Love still was a Cav.
Right.
Like excluding him like on purpose.
Right. Yeah.
And he gotta go and be like, we together, we not together.
Right. Well, Kobe is a good one. Kobe is a good person to use that too, because Kobe, if you ain't about it,
yeah. So that still read to me like they are Israel, but this particular group of Israelites was trying to do their own thing.
All right, go down to verse 18.
Okay. So still Book of Judges, chapter 20, verse 18.
Mm-hmm.
And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of God and asked counsel of God and said, which of us shall go up first to the battle against the children of Benjamin?
Against who?
The children of Benjamin.
Oh, go ahead.
And the Lord said, Judah shall go up first.
You still feel like they together?
I don't feel like they're on a different page. For sure.
They definitely they on some different time for sure. But what's important here is you see three very important players. Israel, you see the name Israel, you see the name Benjamin, you see the name Judah. And what's heavy about this too? Check this out. Have you ever talked to somebody and they went and they showed you a precept in the New Testament and it said Israel, whosoever call on his name, and maybe even Judah or Gentile in one sentence? They'll think that it's talking about different people. But right here, you can start to pick up the understanding that it could be three different names in one precept and they all the same people. But it's how they carrying themselves. See, somebody tried to say that I hated black people. I told him, I said, I can't hate black people because it's against my belief. Yeah, and y'all understand that, right? Because we follow the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. So that would make me different. That's a whole different world if you're following the law, statutes, and the commandments, and you somebody else to me. So out of these three players, if you had some following the laws and some didn't and doing their own thing, they different players. Go ahead.
So I don't remember the precept, but Most High said, if you keep my commandments, you follow my laws, you are a friend of me. So it's the same for us. We want to be like the Most High. We try our best to not be like the Most High, but you know what I mean? We try our best to follow him and do
right.
Have that character. So same thing stands for us too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, it's important for us all to be one. All right. It's important for us all to be one. All right. So they wasn't together, right? So you had Saul. Y'all know who Saul was, right? So they wasn't together. They went into the land. They didn't go in the land together. You had some on one side, some on the other side. They were spread it out. They had different judges, right? Then they had judges. The last one they had was Saul. Not Saul, Samuel. Salakia. Samuel was the last prophet before they asked for a king. All right. Were they together yet? Were they together under Saul? Were they one nation? Were we together under Saul? Anybody? By raise a hand. You say La? What you say? Yeah, we was. What you say? We still. Well, let's see. Go to 18. 1 Samuel 18 and 12. Let's see, was we together? That's what we're looking at. We're looking to see where we together and how and what's the difference between a Jew and Israel. You got it? Let's get it.
And Saul was afraid of David because the Lord was with him and was departed from Saul. Therefore, Saul removed him from him.
He was talking about Saul removing David from him. Go ahead.
And made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people.
That's very important when it says he went out and he came in before the people. That means the people were seeing him. They were seeing the things that he was doing for them and doing for the nation. They were seeing this. All right. Verse 16.
Verse 16. But all Israel and Judah loved David because he went out and came in before them.
So they loved him for that. They seen it. They loved him. And notice what it says. And all Israel and Judah. Don't that language sound familiar? That's the language that we see in the Hebrews 8 and 8. I will make a new covenant between the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Same language. All right. Same language. Now, let me show you why they were saying going in and out before them. Go to Numbers chapter 27 and verse 15. This is why that spirit was up on the people. This is why that spirit caused the people to love David. This is why. They saw him going in and out before them. And that spirit of being a shepherd, like when we see Commander General Yohana do the things that he do, that spirit come up on us. That spirit come up on us and we see him as this shepherd going in and out before us, defending us, dropping that knowledge on us, keeping us in tune with the world and things that is to come. This is the reason why. Numbers 27 and verse 15. Who got it?
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 27, verse 15.
Read.
And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation.
So Moses is saying, allow the Lord to put a man. Does it say men? Does it say a bunch of people? It says what? Set a man. I hope y'all understand what I mean by when he says a man. This is the reason why I chose the ISUPK, because a man did not run. A man did not break up what the Lord had started here. A man. I know that's tough for some people. It was tough for people to follow after Moses, but the scriptures just say, and set a man over the congregation. Not a bunch of people, not men, but a man. Verse 17.
Which may go before them, and which may go in before them.
This is what they saw with David. Remember, go ahead.
And which may lead them out. And which may bring them in. And the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd.
That's what they saw on David. That's why that spirit was on them concerning David, and they loved David. Go to 2 Samuel 2 and 4. Remember, they're not together. We saw it said Israel, and just follow me. I'm gonna get there. It says Israel and Judah loved David. Go ahead. What you got?
So the scripture we just read, that's talking about Joshua, right?
Right. Joshua was the next shepherd after Moses, right?
But then after Joshua, and we still end up with 12 judges and everybody governing themselves.
That's why that spirit was on them. That's why they was able to see that in David. And all of that is going to manifest in David. It's just that when they said that they wanted a king like the other nations, they didn't say they wanted a king after the heart of the Lord. They didn't say we want a king after your own heart, Yahweh.
So you don't think right now we could be in that same stage as to how there was in Judges?
In the judges? No.
Why not?
Because we being gathered. And when we being gathered, military is being formed. And military is ranking. All right, look, the Most High never changes, right? We read about how we came out of Egypt. When we came out of Egypt, because this is an Exodus, right? We working on the Exodus, right? Right? They were working on in Egypt or what? Exodus. So we in the same state. We're in that same state with Moses, and Moses got men underneath him. We're in that same state right now because this is an Exodus. Now, if you can find me an Exodus where it was a bunch of, he called a bunch of people over the congregation. And, let me see it. Who got that 2 Samuel 2 and 4? Because I want to get through this. 2 Samuel 2 and 4. All right, let's get it.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 2 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
And the men of Judah came, and there they anointed David king over the house of Judah.
Why doesn't it say Israel? You know that it's Israel out there because we read leading up to this Judah and Israel all over the place. We saw that Judah and Israel loved them, but it says only Judah came. And there they anointed David to be king over the house of Judah. Keep going.
And they told David, saying that the men of Jebusiah were they that buried Saul.
Go ahead. Go down to verse 10.
Verse 10. Isupk, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Israel.
No, over Judah.
Over Israel.
No, over all Israel.
Over Israel.
Over Israel. So now you got what? You got, go ahead, keep going.
And reigned 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the house of Judah followed David.
You know what's heavy about this? And you can see the map. On this map, you'll see. But look where Benjamin at. See where Benjamin at? He right there by Israel. He right there by the border. And on the other side of the border. He can hear every Israel, and that's Israel up top.
Ephraim.
Exactly. That's Israel. So he heard. That's how they heard. They stay close by. But the point is, you see, you have two different kingdoms because you got two different kings. You got like two different presidents. So they still not together. All right. They still not together. Go to 2 Samuel 3 and 1.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Come on.
Now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David.
What's the house of Saul? Israel. Yeah, Benjamin too. Some of Benjamin that got to be up in there, but the house of Saul because the house. Yeah, no, Salakia. The house of Saul, right? The house of Saul you will see in this map. This map right here that I got right here. So it would be Israel, and it would be what you see right here. But if you notice, you see Benjamin on both sides. So you got some of Benjamin on both sides. Y'all see that? All right, so it was war between the two. Go down to verse 21. Oh, you know what? You don't got to go to there. You don't got to go there. Go to 2 Samuel 5 and 1. So some things had transpired, right? And all Israel, go to 2 Samuel 5 and 1. I want you to read it first.
This is the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then came all the tribes of Israel to David unto Hebron, and spake, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh.
What are they saying right there?
Brothers and family.
We family. And it says all the tribes of Israel. So is that all 12 tribes? They scared now. Huh?
Okay.
What you say?
It says all tribes.
Mm-hmm.
At this point.
At this point. That's very important. I'm gonna tell you something else why it's important. I'm just gonna throw y'all a nugget. We ain't gotta go to it. But when it mentioned Cornelius, it says that Christ came to rebuild the tabernacle of David that has fallen. This is the tabernacle of David. The tabernacle of David is all 12 tribes. This is the first time that all 12 tribes was together. All 12 tribes was together. All 12 tribes was together. Go ahead.
So when they say,
go down to verse 3 too. Go ahead.
When they say all the tribes of Israel and all the children of Israel, that's two different meanings.
No, not all the time. Everything is, and everybody should understand this. Everything is based on context. You have to look at the context because look, the word Lord is different. The word God is different. It depends on the context. Everything depends on the context. When you're talking to somebody and they try to say that one word is dominant and it means this all clear across the board, you can't say that.
Like world.
Like world. Right. Like world. Verse 3.
Come. So all the elders of Israel came to the king to Hebron, and King David made a league with them in Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel.
Verse 4.
David was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years.
And just to show you that they were broken up and now they all together, verse 5.
In Hebron, he reigned over Judah 7 years and 6 months. And in Jerusalem, he reigned 33 years over all Israel and Judah.
See, so now you see David. This is the first time. It's so important when he says that David was a man after his own heart. That's important. That's important. David had the spirit of the Lord. He was no chump. He was no chump. Let me show you something. When David was dying on his dying bed, anybody know what David did on his dying bed? Anybody know what David did on his dying bed? Go to 1 King chapter 2 and verse 1. 1 King chapter 2 and verse 1. Now remember, David is a man after the Lord's own heart. See, here in this kingdom, they raised you completely different from how David felt and how this spirit was up on David and how David feel. The people will feel like, oh, that's so wrong. Watch this. You got it? I need you to read it though. You got it? Let's get it.
It's the book of 1 Kings, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Come on.
Now the days of David drew nigh, that he should die.
So David was about to die. Go ahead.
And he charged Solomon his son, saying.
So he told Solomon, his son, like I would tell my son, come here. I want to tell you some things. All right. Go ahead.
I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man.
Show thyself what?
Show thyself a man.
Show thyself a man. This is what King David is telling his son. That goes out to you chumps that be talking about David and Jonathan. His father told him what? Show thyself a what?
Man.
A man. Verse 3.
And keep the charge of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whichsoever thou turnest thyself. That the Lord may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in the truth with all their heart, and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel.
So he telling Solomon, look, be a man. And how do you be a man? You be a man by keeping the Most High's laws, his statutes, and his commandments. That's the reason why the Christian church is so soft. They so soft because they don't follow his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. And that spirit of softness, that spirit of gay, it comes up on them. All right, go ahead.
Moreover, thou knowest also what Joab the son of Zeruiah did to me.
Read that again. Now listen, this is King David. Listen to what he's telling his son. Moreover, go ahead.
Thou knowest also what Joab the son of Zeruiah did to me.
Yo, you know what that boy did to me, right? Go ahead.
And what he did to the two captains.
And what he did to who?
The two captains of the hosts of Israel. Unto Abner, the son of Ner.
Yes.
And unto Asma, the son of Jether.
Keep going.
Whom he slew, and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet.
Now remember, this is a man after the Most High's heart, and he's on his dying bed. He's saying, yo, look, he gave him a list of people. Don't forget them. Don't forget none of them. Verse 6.
Do therefore according to thy wisdom,
and
let not his whore head.
Let a what?
Let not his whore head go down to the grave in peace.
Don't let him go down in peace. This is David. This is the king. This is a man after the Most High's heart. This is how we should all be. We should all be men of war. Keep going.
But show kindness unto the sons of Brasilia, the Gileadite, and let them be of those that eat at thy table.
All right. So now, I just wanted to hit y'all with that real quick and show y'all under David unified the kingdoms. David unified the kingdoms. Go to 1 King chapter 4 and verse 1. So now Solomon got the kingdoms. When Solomon got the kingdoms, were all the kingdoms together?
Yes.
After Solomon died, was all the kingdoms together?
After Solomon died?
After Solomon died. You sure? I got y'all. I got you. I got you. They were together.
When Solomon got them.
When Solomon died, were they together? Yeah, they were together. Go to 1 King. Look. Go to 1 King 11. Let's get right to it. I want to get to this and we wrapping it up. Go ahead. Who got it? Verse 1. 1 King 11 and 1. Y'all know this one. Go ahead.
But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of Moabites, Amorites, Edomites, Sodomites, and Hittites.
All right. So he went after go down to verse 13. So he went after other women from other nations. And those women from those other nations that he was forbidden to go and deal with, they also turned his heart away from him and he started following other gods. And because of that, the Most High said that he would take the kingdom from him or from his son. Which one? Verse 13, who got it?
Howbeit, verse 13. Howbeit, I will not render away all the kingdom, but I will give one tribe to thy son of David, my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
What does verse 14 say?
And the Lord stirred up and
hold up, go up to verse. Hold on. Because I want to bring something out right here that we just said. So y'all throwing me off, but I'm gonna get it anyway. 1 King 11, right? I want you to go to verse. Let's see. Is it 9? Where he breaks it down? No. Verse 12. Read verse 11 and verse 12.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 12, verse 11. This is 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely render the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant.
Now he's telling him that he will rip the kingdom from him, right? He's going to rip the kingdom from him, and he's going to give it to his servant. Read verse 12.
Notwithstanding, in thy days will I not do it for David thy father's sake.
What does he mean right there? When he says in 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 12, he says, notwithstanding in thy day, I will not do it for David thy father's sake.
I'll not do it while you're alive.
I'm not going to do it while you're alive. So the kingdom was won his whole life only because of David, his father's sake. All right. I just wanted to give y'all that. So now y'all understand and see that it was at this point, now are they two kingdoms? Are they two nations?
Right now, no.
And after Solomon died, are they two nations?
No.
They still one nation? All right. All right. All right. So go to first. All right. So now we know that. So we don't got to go through that, but just for the people's sake, I'll read it. In 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 17, it says, but as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Verse 19 says, so Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. Remember, we saw this same type of language during the time of Saul and David, right? We saw that same type of language. Verse 21, and when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribes of Benjamin and the house and 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom against Rehoboam and the son of Solomon. So they were fighting each other again. So they right back to where they were before David. They right back. But you say they're not two nations, right? It says in verse 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 18, it says, therefore, when the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight, there was none left but Judah only. So this is the difference between the two. The difference between the two under the old covenant, the Most High removed them out of his sight. Only ones that was left was Judah. By the time we looked up and got to the New Testament, Israel, the majority of Israel was over here. All right, but it was Judah only. So the difference is between Israel and Judah under the old covenant, the Most High moved them out of his sight. All right.
And that's why Christ had to come back to join the nations back together.
Exactly. But what's important is to understand. Go to Hosea chapter 9 and verse 15. What's very important, young man, to understand that when Christ came back, who was he talking to?
Right.
Hosea chapter 9 and verse 15. Let's get it.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 9, and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
All their wickedness is in the gap.
This is talking about Israel. This is talking about Ephraim. Watch, keep going.
But there, I hated them.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about Ephraim.
This is under the old covenant. This is how the Most High was feeling about Ephraim under the old covenant. Keep going.
For the wickedness of their doing, I will drive them out of my house. I will love them no more.
I will what?
Love them no more.
He's saying this under that old covenant. He's saying this about Israel. He's saying this about Ephraim. All 10 of those tribes that we read that broke off during the time of Solomon, he's saying what? I will love them no more. All their rulers are revolters. Go ahead.
And if it's not love, it's hate. But the Christians always say something about the Lord don't hate.
The Lord don't hate.
He hated his own chosen.
Right here. Right here. And here it is. Keep going. Verse 16.
Verse 16. Ephraim is smitten. Their root is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yet, though they bring forth, yet will I slay even the beloved fruit of their womb. My God will cast them away, because they did not hearken unto him, and they shall be wanderers among the nations. So
now they going out among the nations. But guess what happened though? Judah fell too. Judah fell too. 2 Kings 17 and 19. It says, and Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which is the northern kingdom, which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel. All right. But the language is not the same as he said what he just said about Israel. He says, and afflicted them and delivered them into the hands of spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight. So question, he's doing it to both of them now. This is 2 Kings 17 and 19 and 20. Ephraim went into captivity, right? And Israel went into captivity. I want you to give me 2 Chronicles 36 and 10, young man in the front. And I want you to give me Ezra chapter 2 and verse 1. Second Chronicles chapter 36 and verse 10, and you give me Ezra chapter 2 and verse 1. I want you to read 2 Chronicles 36 and 10 first. Let's get it.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 36 and verse 10.
This is Judah going into captivity.
And when the year was expired, King Nebuchadnezzar sent and brought him to Babylon with the goodly vessels of the house of the Lord, and made Zedekiah his brother king over Judah and Jerusalem.
No, over Israel.
Over Judah and Jerusalem.
No, over Israel.
Over Judah and Jerusalem.
I'm saying that's purposely because Judah was the only ones that was left. So Judah was the only ones that went into captivity in Babylon. Watch this. Ezra 2 and 1. This them coming out of captivity.
Book of Ezra chapter 2 verse 1. Now these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity, of those which had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon had carried away unto Babylon, and came again unto Jerusalem and Judah, every one unto his city.
All right, so you find it. Look, it says Judah, right? And we know that it was Judah that was the only ones that went into captivity. Judah was the only ones that went into captivity. So Judah was the only ones that returned. Go down to verse 5.
Verse 5. The children of Ara 700.
Wait. You at Ezra 1 and 5?
Ezra 2. You want me to go to Ezra 1?
Salakia, Ezra 1 and 5.
All right, book of Ezra chapter 1 verse 5. Then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah and Benjamin, and the priests and the Levites, which all of them whose spirit God had raised.
So who are they?
I'm asking you, who is Benjamin and Judah?
Israelites.
Okay, at this point, based on the lesson, what's the difference in the two?
They're not of Judah.
There is Judah. It says Judah and Benjamin. So this is Judah.
And it mentions the Levites.
And it got to mention some of the Levites. You need some of the Levites in order to do any of the priestly duties. So this would be the southern kingdom. Remember we read before, it said Judah, Benjamin, and Israel.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones that's missing here is who? Israel is missing. Not saying that they're not Israelites, because they are Israelites.
But they're the southern kingdom.
But this is this is the southern kingdom. This is the southern kingdom. And you see that same language if you read 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 21. It says, and Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem. He assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, 104,000 chosen men, which were warriors to fight against the house of Israel. So you see that, and you can see it up here if you they can see it online. All right. So now during the time of the Messiah, who was there? Go to Ezekiel 37 and 15, and then we're going to close out with one more scripture. I want the young man in the back to read, because you said that they wasn't two nations. Ezekiel 37 and 15. Ezekiel 37 and verse 15.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying,
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
So it's saying for Judah, which is the southern kingdom, and Israel, his companions, because there was some Israelites that was among them. Go ahead.
Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions.
Go down to verse. What verse is that?
That was 16.
Keep reading.
And join them one to another into one stick,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall become one in thine hand. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim,
Mm-hmm.
and the tribes of Israel his fellows,
Mm-hmm.
and will put them with him,
Mm-hmm.
even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord God.
Go down to verse 22.
Verse 22. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations.
They shall be what?
They shall be no more two nations.
So were they two nations?
They were.
Go ahead.
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
That's that division you was talking about.
Come.
So now I want everybody now go back to John chapter 10 and verse 16. So now we understand during the time of the Messiah, who was in the land? Young man in the back.
Everyone.
No. Who came out of captivity in Babylon?
Judah.
So who was in the land?
Judah.
Judah. In order for the Most High to fix what he did, remember, he cut off Israel. He took them completely out of his sight. He was done with them. He said he don't even love them no more. But then with Judah, he had mercy on Judah. Are you familiar with that? Let me show you this real quick. Go to Hosea chapter 1, because I can see it's on your mind. Chapter 1 and verse 7. Hosea chapter 1. You got it? I want you to start at verse 6.
I want you to read 6 and I want you to read 7, but I want you to stop at 6. Go ahead.
And she conceived again and bare a daughter. And God said unto him, call her name Levuah Ma, for I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel.
See, we saw this language before because we just read about it, right? How the Most High said he don't love them no more, right? So he says, what did he say about Israel?
I will no more have mercy upon the house of Israel.
Now read verse 7.
But I will have mercy upon the house of Judah.
So those are two different ones. So the mercy that you were seeing on Judah is them going back into the land. The Most High staying with them. So when Christ came, who was in the land?
Judah.
Judah. So when he was saying the Jews, it depends on, like you said, that's why I said all the answers was right. It depends on context. And it did depend on where you was at, on how they said different things. So when Christ said this, go to John chapter 10. Let's go back to where we started. John chapter 10 and verse 16. Are you there? Read it.
It's the book of John chapter 10 and verse 16. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold.
What is he talking about?
Two separate kingdoms.
Right, but what kingdom is he talking about? The majority. What majority of the kingdom he talking about?
Judah.
No.
But the sheep that are not of this fold be men of Israel.
Right. Remember, he's talking to Judah. He's talking to Judah. So take it from the top. Read it again.
And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring. And they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
One fold and one shepherd. Remember, we just read that in Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 22, he says, and I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. That one man, that one God, that one Salakia, that one shepherd is Christ. But now this is what this is talking about. Now you can understand our position. When people hear us say, we'll read this scripture and it'll say, and other sheep I have, they'll think that it's talking about other nations. Let me tell y'all another thing. Nowhere in the scriptures have the Most High ever called another nation sheep. Never. That's an indication right there too. Any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, a lot.
Can I just ask one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Second Esdras, 13 and 41. Is that where some of those tribes were at the time of Christ?
Second what?
Second Esdras 13 and 41.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They had came over here, and you know they was all divided over here. You had the Mayans, you had the Seminoles, you had Chief Bluefoot. They were definitely all over the same, but they was all divided. But what you got? Give me one, and then I'm gonna turn the class over to Brother Carl, Priest and Officer Carl.
I'll give you my conclusion. If it's wrong, then I got a lot of questions, but hopefully it's right. So the difference between Jews and Israelites is that there was two separate kingdoms. They was separated, northern kingdom, southern kingdom, and the reason Christ needed to come back was he was of Judah because he's of that seed, and they were the ones that ended up in the land because they were the only ones that went into captivity, and he needed to bring all of the nations,
all the brothers back together.
And that's why when he used some of the words that be seeming like it's pertaining to Gentiles, he really speaking to the other Israelites.
Exactly.
There in the beginning, and he was trying to unite everybody back together.
Exactly. And you see, and I'm gonna let you in right there. And you see us warring again. I brought out that warring and fighting among each other so you can understand that we have became enemies. So when Christ was saying, forgive your enemies and love your enemies, he was talking about his brothers. You is there something you wanted to bring out? But you was on point.
I just wanted to bring out a precept on that sheep.
All right, what you got?
Because like you said, only the Lord is the sheep. So he has to be, when you see sheep, he's talking to his people, Israel.
Right.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 25.
Hold on, let me get there with you. 1 Peter, you said 2 and 25?
Come.
All right, go ahead.
For ye were as sheep going astray, but are now returned unto the shepherd and bishop of your souls.
That's
Israel going,
that's a mean cut too. That's a mean cut for bishop of one wife. That's a mean cut for that. All right, so we're gonna turn the class over to precinct officer Hall.
ISUPK security announcements, rules for new brothers and new sisters. When a new brother or new sister comes to the school, they are off limits. They are to be saluted only. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has a particular interest in another party, they are to seek heads from the council, and the heads will arrange it, or the teacher will arrange it. Also, remember tithes, which is a commandment. That is in Malachi 3:8-10, and Numbers 18 and 21. In the Hebrew, it is ma'ashra, which means 10% of any increase that the Lord gives you. Also, we do have a priest fund. It's not mandatory, but it is appreciated. We do accept bottles and whatever else funds you would like to donate to the school. We do have up and coming Holy Convocation. That is the Passover. That will be April 20th. There's a lot of events that's happening around that. You can look at the various promotions on YouTube at the different schools. I know we're having the Black Party, Slaughter the Lambs. I'm not sure if we're having a kids party this year, are we?
I'm not sure. I think we're still on.
We probably will still have that, but that's April 20th. That's in Durham, North Carolina, right?
Right.
Durham, North Carolina. Remember to pay your Passover fee. That is $200. If you do want to be a trooper to school, remember to wear all black boots, pants, shirt, headband, war scarf. And with that being said, men of Israel, Mighty, which means to stand. Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Mighty, Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbat Thumb.
Yajmatah, we want to SAR and turn towards the sisters and give them a courtesy salute. Sisters, if you can stand. Men of Israel, Almighty Shabbat, Almighty, Barak.
Yahweh Shema Thumb Shem Yahweh Shah.
Yajmatah, class dismissed.
Get down here to class, 1232 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware.
Shalom, Lord Christ, to my brothers and sisters, man. Y'all need to come down to 1232 North King Street, where the truth resides, man. ISUPK Delaware. We definitely representing doing some big things.
202 North DuPont Boulevard.
That's
in
right.
Smyrna, Delaware.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Come and be a part of this rising thing that we got going on here in Delaware.
I hear everybody claiming that they love the Lord and love God and all that. Well, get in here and show it. You know what I mean? The scriptures say faith without works is dead. So if you ain't doing nothing, your faith is dead. So get up and do something. What you need to do is get your ass up and get in the class. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing else. You're sitting home wasting time. Everything is going on around you, and you don't know how to compartmentalize these things. You understand? I'm on my way to class right now, like you should be. You know what I'm saying? Class don't stop for nothing.
So man, you sleeping? Falling asleep? You stay here? You wanna stay here? Huh? You wanna stay here? Sorry, staying here.